Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Confessions of a Gaming Mum. So, Veganuary, how many weeks are we into this now? I think I've just done our second full week, and so technically we're in like week 3 now. Yeah, it seems to be going still quite well. I attempted to do a 5-bean chili. I actually got the 5 beans this time and it was absolutely delicious. I was a bit worried at first because when I decided to cook it in the slow cooker just to let it all the flavours get in there as much as possible. And I used vegan chocolate as well this time, and it was absolutely delicious. Yeah, I was a bit paranoid at first because I thought the smell of just like beans and just pulses and stuff was like the main smell whenever I opened the lid of the slow cooker, but when you actually ate it, it was just absolutely delicious. So I'm so pleased that turned out really well, because obviously that's going to become a staple, I think, for the family now every week. No flatulence, no flatulence issues, which you would think you would get with 5-bean chili, but no such problems like that so far. But yeah, it was absolutely delicious. If anyone would like for me to do a video about the recipe, then just let me know, and I'll be more than happy to do a video showing what I actually add into it, how I cook it and stuff. What else? I tried to cook for the first time with lentils this week, and let's just say it didn't go very well. The first time I tried to make a curry that my dad used to cook, which was with minced beef and like onions and potatoes and peas, and yeah, it used to be my absolute favourite thing. You just eat, like, scoop it up with flatbread and stuff, and it was absolutely amazing. Like the spices, and that was just lovely. And I decided to try replacing the meat with lentils. I did ask a vegan friend about the best way, because you get such conflicted information when it comes to how to cook with lentils, so I never really know what to go with. And I can't remember if I spoke to her before or if it was just through like just doing a load of research from like loads of different YouTube videos, but I decided to go with tinned lentils for the first time, because obviously they're already cooked, you don't really have to do anything with them except add them to whatever you're cooking. So I bought 2 tins. Luckily I bought 2 tins because I thought, oh, 1 tin would be enough. I thought they would expand within the food. When I added them, and then I asked again my vegan friend, do tinned lentils actually expand? She was like, no, because they're already cooked, so that's as far as they'll expand. So I actually added the 2 tins of lentils. So that's 800 grams of lentils I had to add to this curry, and to me that's just not practical in terms of just having to add so much to the food. And I cooked it, how long did I cook it for? I think I cooked it for about 40 minutes because I just wanted to make sure, I kept checking just to make sure the lentils didn't break up and turn to mush or whatever. And it was really, really nice. There wasn't as much flavour as I thought there'd be. I mean, you still had a lot of flavour in it, but I think because the lentils were already cooked, they didn't absorb as much of the flavour as I would have liked. So I'm tempted to try dry lentils with it next week just to see how it goes. Although my other experience this week with lentils was dry lentils, but I did the stupid thing of, because the recipe that I had got was lentil spaghetti bolognese, and it said red lentils cooked with red lentils. The supermarket that we shopped at didn't have just red lentils, all they had was split red lentils. So I didn't really think there was much of a difference, so bought it thinking I could use those. In the recipe for the spag bowl, they didn't actually tell you how to prep the lentils, which I think is a really stupid thing. They should actually tell you what you're supposed to do with the lentils before, because there's so many things that you can do and so many different opinions on terms of how you prep the lentils before. And so I just went with what was on the pack and basically followed everything, all the directions that were on the pack. And when it came to adding the lentils to the pasta sauce, it was basically mush. Added it to the pasta sauce and it just turned into soup. And looking further into it, because that's probably what I should have done before, I found out that basically split red lentils are only really good for soups and pies. So that was my fault really for not doing more research. So yeah, so that didn't turn out very well, so that got flushed down the toilet and we ended up ordering pizza instead, because Papa John's obviously is great and does vegan pizza, and they also do those amazing Marmite and vegan cheese swirl things, and I'm in second heaven when I'm seventh heaven. See, I'm just not with it at the moment. Oh, and I also found out, which I was really pleased about, I think that kind of made me feel a bit more happier after the fact that I just spent like an hour trying to cook and then it all just went to shit, that the Papa John's special garlic sauce is actually vegan. People might correct me on this, but I'm pretty sure we looked it up and it said it's vegan, because I didn't know if I could eat it, but then why would they put it in with a vegan pizza if it wasn't vegan? But anyway, yeah, so that's like my absolute favourite thing. So I was so pleased that I was actually able to have my favourite garlic sauce with my pizza and it was still vegan. So that made my day. But yeah, so I did actually speak to my vegan friend again about the red split lentils, and she said about trying, they do pouches, and I think I've seen the pouches of lentils, but I thought they were already in a sauce, so I didn't think to buy them. So I'll see if I can find them, but I'm also, what I think I'm going to try is I'm going to try the recipe but with green lentils and see how that turns out and see if it makes any difference. I think that's the main thing with Veganuary. It's kind of taking recipes and then just adapting them and making it what's easiest for you. That's what I'm finding anyway at the moment. I'm also going to try another recipe next week, because again I bought another ready meal, vegan ready meal from our local supermarket, and it was a chickpea and butternut squash curry, and it was absolutely like just amazing. It was such a nice curry. It's a sort of curry that I really like, and there was just so much flavour in it. So I basically copied down all the spices that it says go into it, and obviously other ingredients like coconut milk and things like that, and I'm going to try and make it next week. So fingers crossed that actually turns out successful, because I'd love to be able to have again another vegan meal that I can add to our list for when Veganuary ends and we decide whether or not we're going to stick with veganism or if we're just going to go back to eating meat. At the moment I don't think we will go back to eating meat as much. I think we've kind of decided that what we want to do is stay as vegan as possible at home, and then if we go out and it just proves to be like highly inconvenient, like there's nothing really on a menu that we like that's vegan, then we'll go with sort of the meat alternative sort of thing. But yeah, I think we've come to that conclusion that we don't really need meat in our diet. I think it's more, you realise that it's just a habit when it comes to having meat with every meal. And it can be that, yeah, it can be the convenience as well, in terms of, as I said before, with my husband having these spinach frittata things, it's just such a faff to have to cook sort of on the Sunday night. I mean, then he has it for the rest of the week, so I don't have to worry about cooking it again. But yeah, it's still a lot more faff than just putting a couple of boiled eggs in a pan, or putting a couple of eggs in the pan and boiling them, and then that's that done. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of just trying to slowly adapt things over time. It definitely won't be like an immediate thing, like when it comes to the 1st of February we're going to be instantly vegan. I think it will be a whole thing of just learning more and cutting out things over time. Like I said, we won't go back to having like a mixed grill or like a full English breakfast every weekend sort of thing. Because this morning actually, we actually had, I can't think of the name of I think it's Naked Glory, I think is the name of these plant-based sausages. Well, it's the company that do these plant-based sausages. And we had a sausage sandwich, because that used to be our thing as well on a Saturday morning, is that we'd have a sausage sandwich or a bacon sandwich or something. And yeah, did the sausages this morning. They're a little bit smaller than the sausage. We normally get like big chunky fat sausages, so they're a little bit smaller. With a bit of tomato ketchup or brown sauce or whatever, you would not be able to tell the difference, and they were really nice and really filling. So again, that's something, because we know we like it, we're like, well, we don't need to buy meat sausages anymore. So there's that. So it's just like little things that we're just cutting out over time. Like I said, we kind of went dairy free in terms of milk in our tea. Our butter is dairy free, so I think it will be more me trying to cut out the cheese because I love my cheese on toast, so it'll be a matter of just finding a vegan cheese that I like, that I'd be able to say, well, that's I'm happy with that. And like Papa John's has nailed the vegan cheese, definitely. I have to say the cheese that I had this week, it was Morrison's own vegan brand, and it was Red Leicester. I tried, I think it was their mature cheddar, no, it was Edam I tried the week before, and it was vile. But I tried the Red Leicester this week and it was actually quite nice. But I don't know if that's just because I've weaned myself for obviously the last nearly 3 weeks off of real cheese. So vegan cheese is actually starting to be a bit more like palatable, I don't know. But yeah, so I think I'll be getting that one from now on, as long as I can see it. It's still quite expensive. That's the only problem. I think vegan cheese can be really expensive. I still haven't tried Violife, which is like the one that everyone says is basically like real cheese, because I just cannot justify the price. I really can't, and I don't want to buy it, really like it, and then feel like I have to have it every week and like get addicted to it. So I'm kind of holding it off until like we're a bit more settled, I think, in terms of budgeting our weekly shop and stuff with all the new vegan things that we'll be buying. And also the thing is, like, we've got a lot of food left over from Christmas. Like, we bought ourselves a panettone which wasn't touched. We've got a lot of chocolate and sweets that were bought that we haven't touched either. So there's things that we still need to eat that aren't vegan that we put aside because we wanted to make sure we were clean going into Veganuary, so we haven't touched any of it through the month. So obviously in February I think we're just going to binge all that. But again, like I said, it's not going to be, I mean, I don't buy chocolate every week. We don't eat chocolate during the week, sort of thing. We try to be as good as possible. It's just weekends we might splurge, like go out for dinner and have like chocolate cake or something. But even then you can get a vegan chocolate cake. It's not like it's that difficult. But I do find I'm not finding vegan chocolate as like a chocolate bar, like a vegan chocolate bar, like Nomo. Nomo is nice, but it's not Cadbury's, it's not Galaxy or whatever, not for me anyway. I still haven't tried the vegan Galaxy, although I've heard that's really expensive. For like a bar, it's like £3 or something. It's ridiculous. I'm a bit apprehensive of trying that. But yeah, I think it's little things like that that I just think I'm not ready to completely cut those out of my diet. Not that I have them all the time, it's just that whenever I want them I might have them, but that will be like not even once a week. It might be like once or twice a month or something. So yeah, I think that's how we're looking at it so far, that we'll try and be as vegan as possible at home. One, because obviously it's cheaper when you go shopping and you do, like I said, the 5 bean chili. The 5 tins of beans together is cheaper than the minced beef that you're buying. So to me, like, it's a no-brainer. If you can make a cheap ass weekly budget, then go for it. But yeah, I think I do sometimes miss meat. Not when I'm actually eating the food that I'm eating. I think it's like when I went around my parents yesterday and we were watching like cooking shows or whatever, and someone had like they made a surf and turf, or walked through a town centre and we walked past a fish and chip shop. And again, I think that's something else that I don't think I could cut out at the moment, in terms of having a really good fish and chips. I'd miss it too much, I think. But again, it's just one of those things where I don't miss it when I'm eating the food that like the vegan food that I'm eating. I'm not like sat there eating. But when you go to Wagamama's, they do a really good vegatsu curry, where they've basically made seitan to replace the chicken that you get in the chicken katsu curry, and it tastes just as good. It's so nice, and I'm really impressed with it. And from now on, I will be having that rather than the chicken katsu curry. Although, to be fair, I liked their noodles, so I don't know. I guess it would depend what sort of mood I'm in terms of if I go for the vegatsu or if I just go for noodles. But I'd see if I could get like tofu instead. Again, it's just really about learning and trying new things at the moment. See, I think I'm rambling now, but that's the gist of it, in terms of we feel like we've not missed meat enough to go back to being full meat eaters. I think it's more, we'll try and be as vegan as we can, but if it inconveniences us or we have a craving for something, then we'll go for it. But like I said, it won't be like a regular thing. It won't be daily, it won't be weekly. It'll probably just be a couple of times a month or something. But yeah, we'll see. We'll just see how we get on with it. But yeah, I think that's it for Veganuary in terms of the update. So yes, I just wanted to give another little update about like just life in general because I've been working on my other resolution for New Year's, which was to get my shit together, and it's proving quite good. I'm sticking to it as much as I possibly can. I mean, the main thing about getting my shit together was just getting on top of housework and things, because you know, I'm one of those people, I think I blame my mother for this. I hate an untidy house, I hate a dirty house, so I want to be able to clean. And like when I wasn't working before, first when I was made redundant a couple of years ago, and then when I was pregnant and I quit my job, I like to be able, I was able to clean. I mean, obviously when I was pregnant, I was less and less able because of walking around with a massive bump. But yeah, I always like to be able to keep on top of the cleaning. Now with the toddler running around, it's that little bit more difficult. So my housework kind of got on top of me, and it made me just feel a bit meh about it, and just meh in general, because I just hate having an untidy house and mess. And I think when we moved our son, when we moved Bubs into his own room, and that room was just full of crap, just that we'd just thrown in there and just forgotten about. So I'd had a major sort out in there, and I was just like, look, we just need to have a major sort out just in general of the house, and I need to be able to get into a routine with the housework. But there was also a lot of big jobs that needed doing. So luckily my mum lives locally to us now since we moved a couple of years ago, and I see her at least once a week. Like she comes around once a week, and yeah, it's really nice to have her to help out with the big stuff, because I mean we haven't even touched our cooker in the nearly 4 years I think that we've been living here. I've cleaned the top, but I've never cleaned the inside of the oven. I just couldn't bear the thought of it. But I'm actually getting round to it, and like my mum's been helping out like with the different products I should be using and different things like that. Because even though, like I said, I like a tidy house, I haven't got the first clue about how to clean one. The main thing is being able to do jobs and just keep into a routine and just knowing what I can do each day. And a lot of the time, like if I want to do stuff upstairs, I have to wait till Bubs is having his nap or whatever. But obviously I can't hoover while he's having his nap. But dusting, mopping the floor and different things like that are like things that I can do. And a lot of the time as well, he actually really enjoys it when I hoover, because he's fascinated by the hoover. At first he was a bit scared because it's quite loud, but now yeah, he absolutely loves it, and he's got his own toy hoover now as well. I think it came from first it came from my cousin's daughter, then it went to my niece, and now it's down to Bubs. And yeah, he's not got the hang of it, how to hold it properly yet, but he still loves it, and he's like whizzing it about and stuff. And he loves the mop my mum uses as well when she's wiping our floor, because my mum's obsessed with polishing the floor, and he absolutely loves it. He loves wiping the floor with that now. So yeah, I'm getting a little assistant helping me out. I give him a little duster as well when he wipes surfaces. So it's great fun getting him involved. But a lot of the time I think it's just because he wants to be in the same room as me. It can get a bit tiresome when I'm trying to clean the kitchen and he's just pulling everything out of the cupboard. But he's a toddler at the end of the day. That's what he's going to do. So I just have to not be more understanding, because I do understand it, but I think be a bit more patient with him and just let him get on with things, and just make sure I'm also playing with him as I'm cleaning, because that can be a bit thingy. But yeah, I think at the moment I'm just trying to, I'm one of those people, I'll make a list of jobs of what I want to do, but then I'll go off and do something else. So like when I said I wanted to clean the kitchen, I then sorted out a cupboard and started throwing stuff away in the cupboard, and it was like, that is not what I intended to do, but it's done. So yes, I keep, every time I write down a list of things I need to do, I then find like a big job that I want to do. So with Bubs's room, I'm just putting like, just make sure it's hoovered, dust it, clean his bed sheets and things like that. But then I'm also like, I also need to sort out his curtains, because his curtains don't shut fully, because the string at the top is too tight, so we have to sort of stretch it out. But my mum was helping with that as well. And then you've got our bedroom, where I bought curtains like 2 years ago. We've got blinds in there, so it's not as if we're like fully exposed. But yeah, so we got the blinds up, but I bought really nice curtains that go really well in the room when we decorated it. And they're still in the cupboard. I still haven't put them up. So when I've put, yeah, about dusting and hoovering in the room, and then I put curtains up. So I'm just giving myself all these different jobs to do. This is the room though that needs the most work, because since moving Bubs into his room, we actually used to use his room in the winter as the laundry room. So whenever I washed a load of clothes, I'd put them in his room. Obviously I don't want to be putting wet laundry in there now he's in there, because I don't want him getting sort of damp on his lungs or whatever. So it's all been moved into the office, and the office isn't half the size of his room. So when my husband wants to work in here at during the week when he has his work from home days, he's basically hunched up in front of the computer because he's got like dryers behind him. But what that's also meant is that the windows have got a bit of mould on them because they're because of the damp, and the windows aren't open. That's probably a bad thing. I probably should have the windows open. But I'm trying to keep as much heat in the house as possible. So yeah, so I really need to clean the windows and the windowsill. It hasn't been dusted in forever because it's just like you can't see from here, but all along these walls it's just bookcases of books, and it needs to. They desperately need dusting. It needs a hoover, and I've got so much crap on the floor and like stuff on the sofa bed behind us. I just really need to have a massive sort out of all the crap that's in here as well, and just make it a livable room, I think. But it's just really difficult at the moment because obviously my mum sleeps in here when she's here, so the bed's always out. When the bed's not out, the dryers are out, and if the dryers aren't out, my husband's normally in here. So yeah, it's just a matter of finding that little window that I can get in and just blitz it. But again, I think that's another thing, that when you look at cleaning a house or when you do housework, that you tend to look at it and you just get overwhelmed by how much needs to be done, which is why I actually asked for this book for Christmas, and it has really helped so far in terms of me having checklists to do. And it's the Mrs. Hinch's activity journal. Not the sort of thing that I would buy or ask for normally, but I remember seeing, I don't know where I saw it, might have been on her Instagram or something. I don't even really follow her on Instagram, but a load of people talk about her. I remember seeing that it had like checklists that you can add, and you can have like what needs to be done in the living room in one section and what needs to be done in the bedroom in another section. And I was like, that's the sort of thing that I really need, just to be able to break down everything that needs to be done so I can just tick it off as I go, because you don't have to do a whole room in one day. You can just do the bits that you can do, that you've got the time to do, and like different things like that, and then just come back to it when you've got a spare 5 minutes. I mean, she has a load of other things in there, like what's your star sign and what does this say about you, and what's your most inspiring quote, and I'm just like, no, that's not my sort of thing. But I mainly bought it for the checklist. I mean, I could probably just do that myself, and maybe after this year, once I've filled in all the checklist pages that are in the book, I'll probably do one myself and just have a checklist around the house or something. And that would be a good thing to actually have when Bubs is older, so it makes sure that he gets he has his chores that he does and he can tick them off as he goes and not have to do them all in one go if he doesn't want to, and stuff like that. Oh, there was something else as well that's only just come up really this week, but I'm very hopeful about it, and I'm hoping for good things will come of it. I was approached by, well, I wasn't approached, a local mum that I know from Bubs' old swimming classes. Obviously we stopped them because they were getting too expensive, so he goes to a cheaper class now. Yeah, a mum that we knew through that is trying to set up a running group for local mums, just like half-hour a week, just to, one, get running so you get fit, have an adult conversation with fellow mums, and just to get out and get some fresh air, just things like that. And she says like no one will be left behind, so if you're a professional runner, if you're a beginner, everyone goes at the same pace. And yes, so I'm trying to help her set that up, because she posted it in a local group but I don't think she got a lot of replies, so I'm helping her with that, because it's something I used to love when I was getting in shape for our wedding. I loved running at the gym. I didn't really go running outside because where we live weren't exactly the best place and there weren't a lot to see or whatever, and I was running on my own. I don't really like running on my own unless I'm in the gym, so I can just stick my music on and just zone out. But I found if I did run with people that I actually get a lot more done, and I run a lot better, and I run a lot longer before I have to stop. So I think it would be a really good thing to get involved with, so I can really push myself, and that's something that I've been wanting to get back into. And so this coming along at this time is actually really perfect for me, and also I hope that I'm actually able to help not only this mum in terms of setting up a group, so it's helpful for her, but also help a lot of other mums who might find themselves a bit stuck in a rut, like just at home all day with the kids, and they just need that half an hour a week just to get away and just be themselves for once. Because I think that's the problem with a lot of mums, is that, I mean, it used to be socially acceptable that a mum would just, or a woman just becomes a mum and then she loses her identity. That's it. You become a mum. What else? Why would you want to be anything else? But these days, I think women are fighting back, and but they're not getting that encouragement or that support. And you do find it, like I said, that when you become a new mum, you do become a mum. You don't have your identity anymore. You just become your child's mum, and I'd like to find ways for myself to be able to fight that, because I want to go back to being Laurie and just not Bubs' mum. But I mean, I am Bubs' mum first and foremost, but I also want to be something other than that, because I don't think my mental health could cope with not being able to be something else. I mean, I have like low self-esteem anyway, so being told that I'm nothing other than a mum, I mean, obviously a mum is an amazing job, but it's still something that a lot of people do, and it's not something that's individual to me. It's really difficult to try and explain it, but yeah. And I think this running thing would not only help me, but help a lot of mums that get involved. So I'm really hoping that this proves to be successful, but I'll keep you guys updated in terms of how we get on with it, and if if I can actually join the run, if I can actually fit into my clothes, my gym clothes anymore, or if I don't have a heart attack as soon as I step out the front door. We'll see. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little update. I thought I'd put a bit more in about stuff that's going on rather than just talk about Veganuary, because I'm sure it's not everyone's cup of tea. But also it's just like, I actually have things going on in my life. It's amazing. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little video. If you did, be sure to give it a like, because that really helps me out, and subscribe if you haven't already. You become a patron on Patreon if you really do enjoy the footage, and share it with your friends and family, and just see if it inspires them to do stuff. I'm just talking shit now. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye.